Okay, it looks like we might be streaming to Facebook. Let me just double check, and I'm going to share in a couple of places. Let's see here. If you're catching us live, feel free to comment below and let us know who you are. We love to come back and see who tunes in. And just give me a moment as I share in a couple of places. I'm going to share to my group, Be the Light, Awakening to Ascension. If you're not a part of that group, you can find it on my business page. Okay, and I'm going to share on my personal page. All right, hello everyone watching. Hi Soul Family, welcome to the Awaken interview series, episode 38. And it's also the last episode of this series. So I'm Sarah Garcia, soon to be Sarah Beretta, and I'm a divine feminine, new earth creatrix, guide, and energy healer. Like I said, I'd love for you to comment and let us know who's here right now. Tonight, it is my great honor to bring Dan Datillo. Did I say it right?
Yes, you do. You said it correct.
Okay, a galactic mastery and energy practitioner onto our show. Thank you so much for being here, Dan. Can you introduce yourself to the audience for us?
My name is Dan Datillo. I'm a self-mastery energy practitioner, meditation instructor, quantum remote healer. And there's the list just keeps on going with a lot of other things.
Yeah, so cool. And I want to dive into all of those other things. So tell us, usually we start this show with kind of like your awakening. What transpired? How did that happen? And what was that like?
Okay, well, I started meditation when I was 13 years old to conquer anxiety, depression as a teen. Suffered pretty harsh anxiety, and I started to take up mindfulness meditation. Also reading books, and then also just practicing in a basic form of breath work intention, relaxing my the thoughts and emotions, grounding my energy from being spiked from all the emotions of high school and stuff, I guess. Yeah. And having the anxiety of all sorts of things, but grounding my emotions and all that stuff got me through high school, got me out of the anxiety and the depression. Most people take pills or anything to get through it, and I got through it with the whole mindfulness. I started practicing when I was 18, 19. I started with a traditional Japanese martial arts called ninjutsu. So it's the ninja. So I got into that. It's very interesting on the martial arts. It also has a very spiritual experience with the ninja. So if anybody knows a lot about that stuff, so, it's pretty interesting. And then as I progressed with meditation, I started practicing with Trilodasa and some of his students. They're Buddhist monks, and these guys are very intuitive. Ever met a Buddhist monk, and very, very disciplined in their meditations. And I started to work in like a week course around when I was about 28 to about 30, 32, 34, 34. And around that time, I started to doing all these very, very advanced disciplined meditations. I was leveling up to these clarity intention, really to strengthen the mind into clarity. And so meditation is a lot of things I teach. But as I progress with more strengthen the mind into clarity, the body started rising with energy. So from this intention, your dantian or your navel chakra or these chakras open. And then you experience energy and you experience awakening. Now, this is more like a traditional path, I would say, instead of some people have awakening through other forms of, experiences. So as I'm in my class, about 4 years ago, I had my first awakening. And my class with my student, not my students, actually my classmates, and with my meditation instructor that works in traditional Buddhism meditation, and about 4 or 5 people in there, and started having burning sensations, third eye. Um, Energy was all over the place, very warm, uncomfortable situation. And then I went home and I'm like experiencing what is going on here. And it was about a week of these symptoms, these physical symptoms that your body goes through, these body changes, as well as the emotional experience from these symptoms. And went back to class. Meditation instructor told me, sit down, Dan, work on your discipline with your other classmates, mindfulness meditation for about an hour. Oh, you would do a lecture, and then almost every Friday I would be in these kind of like advanced discipline courses. But when I sat down and I worked on my breath intention, I had an out of body meditation experience that was really amazing, because I was already in the sharpening mindset of clarity. And when I had the energy and all the symptoms, went back to meditation class the next Friday, and boom. And that's had like the out of body meditation experience. And this is where your body goes into from the very deep meditation, no thoughts, no emotions, into the total samadhi, and then out of body, but you have visual perception where you're seeing this connection of ether. So ether energy is everywhere, and we can say there's ether energy in the planet, but there's probably more in the cosmos. Knowing that there's more magnetic energy and a lot of other particles, stuff like that, paranormal particles floating around. So the connection connected me on this great amazing experience where I was able to see into a visual perception, where I was actually able to feel things too. Like as I'm in this experience, my sensory perception was building more and more. So it was like another world within a world. Very interesting. And I saw the pyramids of Giza out the back, the moonlight, stars, my feet in the sand. I can feel my feet in the sand. Very interesting. Mostly when you're in these experiences, you're the self, as witnessing everything in ether. So you're everything and nothing, but you're everything, yes, I would say. But you're experiencing self experiences. A lot of people would say maybe this is like a past life. I don't believe that. It's not a past life. I believe you can travel anywhere in any type of dimension or experience and experience these things if you can strengthen these intentions like I have. And then it was from the Pyramid of Giza into a Buddhist temple. And from there it was sitting around Native Americans around a campfire with the moonlight in the background, up on the top, and mountains in the background. And the Native Americans and their whole tribal stuff. And it's like very interesting because I went to all these destinations within this experience, and very real, I can feel the campfire, and then Native American doing their spiritual, warrior dance around it and stuff, all these chiefs and their, and all this experiences that you can actually physically feel with your perception. So, and then I come back, and what happened was my body was completely worn out and shot, like completely I physically couldn't feel anything. I mean, I could feel things, but it was worn out, like drained. I was physically drained. And when everybody's packing to go home, I was like, I'm not going anywhere right now. So this is the high states of consciousness where you can understand why the mind can be strengthened into clarity, strengthened into this perception with breath intention meditation, and you can gain the peace and tranquility for yourself, and work into this experience of enlightenment. of walking consciousness where you're like just peaceful and happy every day. And so the soul is the soul is happy, the soul is vibrant, but the body still suffers because we're in an avatar. This is where when you experience this astral projection meditation in a way of you're aware of the body, but you're also aware of this experience. You have to hold clarity and tension within the dream state, because if you think about something or add thought in this experience, it starts to fog up the experience. And when it fogs up, you come back to the body and you're weak and tired to do the practice all over again. After I had this experience, I started to experience more and more as I meditated, and very rough, some of them, but very amazing, very amazing. But I found out later that through my intuitive work, that you can travel in the sense of freestyle, I call it, or you can travel with targeting something. This is where you can find something in time, like a missing person, a missing child. So I teach how to do this, and other people learn it. So it's kind of like remote viewing in a sense of astral projection meditation, remote viewing. And then I teach all these. Then I got into, after I studied that, with awakening, your body is more prone to sensory perception. So you can feel vibrations, you can feel energy, you can experience a lot more than most people. You have changes of diet and changes of, relationships or whatnot. You have the awakened sense of life, I think, more higher understanding, more love for yourself, more love for others, have more compassionate to help others, I believe, with awakening. So it's an amazing thing. It's being reborn for all human beings. Totally. I think it's an amazing thing for all what's needed to, for this planet. So yeah, absolutely. Especially a time like right now. So with the whole viruses and stuff. So, and then I got into more of the strengthening the awareness of and the energy. So I worked on a lot of the energy, chakra systems, building aura fields, learning all these intuitive techniques, and started watching people online, because then you're really relating to the other people. So it's very interesting, some of these people who are doing, and these guys were like the masters. So these guys were masters online. And so I met, started watching some other people's practices. So I'm not like always learning just from my own intuitive insights, but also learning from other teachers. That's most important. You're learning from other people so you can level up or experience new things and put it towards your repertoire of intuitive gifts. So you can those intuitive gifts, so you can help others with it too. So you're all building. If you have the world of more energy practitioners, that'd be really good. Right? The world of healers would be amazing. We want to have war and genocide and hatred and separation all the time. So I'm not saying all the time, but so I started working on some of these very target perception techniques like telekinesis and psychokinesis. And these are practices of almost moving objects. So something like out of a Star Wars movie. So that's like pretty remarkable. It requires a lot of discipline, intention, patience, and also the clarity. And so it's very interesting. There's levels of kinesis, but it's mostly just the energy, intention, and, or I would say, creating a practice around the energy ether that you feel with the vibrational energy and the chi life force within yourself, and how to, manifest these things to make them move. So telekinesis is very interesting. And then there's psychokinesis. And so telekinesis is you use it with your hands. So you're always starting something small. Mostly people use the psi wheel, the chi spinner, It's a little, you take a toothpick with a piece of paper folded 4 ways, you put it there, a little pinwheel, put your hands next to it, warm your hands up, just like you just do like rotations. Everything is in a vortex in nature. So you're using just vortexes to create that warm sensation, but the body is a bioelectric magnetism, and we have 90% water. We're conducted to the Earth's gravitational field. And when you're awake, and you can feel these vibrations, and you can store these vibrations within your system. And you can I use the 5 element structure system: the earth, water, wind, fire, and metal. This is where you connect to all these different systems to be very godlike, powerful. So telekinesis is putting your hands next to this side wheel. You spin it with your hands warming up. And as you move away, your hands, you're more psychic in tune to this intention by steering at the side wheel, and it will eventually spin about 20 minutes. But you're also building this aura field. So you're building the aura field, you're building the psychic perception of it. And it's also about training your perception, feeling the object, putting your sensory perception, your hearing, your touching, your tasting, your feeling, all that experience into the object. I always say making a connection, oneness connection. Some people would say they take away the empathy of existing. I don't like to do that because it doesn't work for me. So I always like to have the connection. It's like I'm bond, like anything else, bond between 2 people. Man or woman, or man or woman, what doesn't matter, but that's a bond is necessary. Or so and the existence of it. So and then that connection works in a way that you could move that side wheel from a distance. And as you progress with it, your aura builds bigger, your psychic perception builds stronger, and you can move objects. I can move peanut butter jars, like weigh 5 pounds. I just move them back and forth. And so that's like psychokinesis and telekinesis. Then there's aerokinesis. Those windmills back there, you see them back behind me. Aerokinesis is connecting to earth energy. So it's one of the elements, earth, and then wind. So earth energy is a source of energy like Mother Earth, the one that you're connecting. But trees have bioresonance in them. Now, I would say nature is bioresonance. So if you can feel bioresonant frequencies, you can use this and harness this to your intention to actually move that windmill. And also, well, the windmill is actually a training tool to actually acclimate yourself to moving the big trees outside, and also doing all these intentional practices I teach towards grounding, but also raising, so the windmill, you move it in different cycles. You can turn it one way, turn it the other way, you grab it, use all these type of intentions. So I guess in a master, I would say, or anybody that wants to perform into these energy practices, you would have these intentions, like almost like a venue of like all the things, like like say for an instance, it's like an app on your phone. You have all these apps. You would have the intention to turn one off the other. It's like that with these intentions. So there are different vibrations. Yeah. So there's telekinesis and aerokinesis. It might be different. Telekinesis is using more your hands with object next to you, and then psychokinesis, not using your hands at all, and you're really just connecting third eye intention and aura energy as well. Or you're using your eyes to move the object. It's actually really interesting because this is how you train your perception in a way that you're like, for instance, if you want to move like this object, or let's say, for instance, you want to like touch this object from a distance, you would have to train your perception by touching it first, and then putting it there. And then you have that memory perception, knowing what it feels like from a distance. It's like that, and just training yourself on all these little things. Might be a little time consuming, but it's pretty wild.
Yeah. Very wild.
Aerokinesis is amazing practice. One of my favorites. I think I have a lot of videos on just creating microburst tornadoes. Just first, it's a calm day. There's no wind. You can even see my videos, and then I stir it all up, and then I calm it all down.
Wow.
Like I never was there. So
Wow.
I think aerokinesis could be used for several purposes, even in California towards they have forest fires, and so creating aerokinesis and energy fields and doing it with a group could prevent a forest fire. You could push the current away from the fire, the fire away from the forest or area forest. So yes. Then also, I mean, there's ways to even create lightning. It's called atomic kinesis. Then there's hydrokinesis, where you can move the waves on like a pond or a river or a stream. This is where you kind of get currents going. There's electric kinesis, where you can turn off lights off and on with the psychic intention. I can do all these. Sometimes there's well, electrokinesis kind of goes into messing with electronics. Sometimes electronics have extra energy, so they might affect your aura. But you need to build a big aura field to protect yourself from these energy distortions that kind of hit back on you, kind of give you electric shock, or they mess with your mind a little bit. I think I put my mind and body to the test on these things. So. They can give you distortion. They can give you another awakening. I had 9 awakenings already so far. Wow. From all these, all these practices that are so damn difficult. So, but they're awesome. They're amazing. So, they're not extremely difficult. You just, as you progress through it, you eventually get good at it, and it's pretty wild. Now, there's microkinesis that tap into smaller things. I can hack a slot machine and win jackpot prizes. There's also PK dice rolling, where you can learn how to throw dice with the perception and manifestation, where you can roll dice constantly and get the same numbers all the time. I can see cards. I can see if I can read a whole 52 card deck backwards. Like, with, not backwards, but, see, and you can't see it. And this is all about training perception. And I teach that my Facebook page and other things too. So Patreon. So the quantum remote healing I got into, and I think after experiencing a couple other awakenings, I was able to connect to this vibration. First, I took Reiki level 1 and 2 and 3, got the certifications in that. And while I'm in my second Reiki master class, I had an amazing experience. It was pretty wild. I was able, when he opened my chakras full 100%, I was able to see right through the human body and see the whole skeleton feature of the human form, including the muscle and the ligaments and the joints and the organs of the human body and also, so the teacher that taught me this, Reiki, he told me, Dan, can you turn off these intentions one by one? And I was able to, after practicing within meditation, each one of them. So I can see right through the human form like an x-ray machine. It's really amazing. So I can know where to target, specific things for people I need healed.
That's amazing.
And then later I was able to experience quantum healing, from another practitioner that was able to do it. And I would feel his vibration, how he was transmitting this feeling through the screen. So I was like, after I felt it a couple of times watching his free live video Facebook pages, I was like, oh, I know what this, now I can do it. I actually was able to store this in my solar plex, so my solar, and expand it outward to the heart and do some amazing things with it. But there's a lot of different chi practices and chi and the qigong and practices I do, and also have made my own towards called energy stance, I call them, and they're really interesting, and they help you really connect and build energy and aura fields and chi more. So chi is more life force energy. I believe chi powers our body. We walk and talk, we think with it. I don't think the muscles do anything with it. I think that is just a bunch of nonsense. I think chi energy is the one that the whole thing that powers our body, and also it's soul energy and connection, and within the third eye and the crown chakra, and where you have the infinite connection to all living things and all living beings as well, even the ones that are not on this planet. And I have done not a lot, but some. Well, I started getting into disclosure about a year ago, and I started having amazing connections to ETs and other worlds, and I'm very intuitive and very detective mindset, knowing that you have to get proof. It's a very, very sensitive topic towards UFO and disclosure, and I have met some few people that are not just online and not claiming they never claimed anything, but one guy was very interesting, and I believe he's an ET because ETs, if you say ETs are on Earth, I'm not trying to say if they are or not, but it's just my own belief. They have telepathic signals they send to you. So this is telepathic overlay signals. These signals give us the perception of thinking that they're human beings, but they're not. These signals can be turned off within a deep meditation state. So I was able to connect to this guy with out-of-body meditation, remote viewing, astral projection, telepathic communication. So this is two high energy practices that are like very difficult. And telepathic communication is not what people think. It's using gamma ray energy. There's all types of sorts of energy. There's pyramid energy. There's the earth energy. There's some of the other elements that are like water. If you're next to water, like a wave, like by the beach, you can feel this crushing sound, and the oceanic currents. Those are magnetic energy you can store in the body. Or women do yoga by beaches, and they might be very physically fit more. So there's all these different type of energy systems, energy hubs, power plants that people don't understand that you can store in your body. And you can actually sit there in meditation and practice yoga next to it, and you can harness this intention, this vibrational energy, and this make it very powerful. So out of body meditation, remote viewing, astral projection, telepathic communication with this one guy. That was very interesting, and I was able to see where he lived. It was in India. Very amazing. All the stuff he's just a typical guy, doing all this energy stuff like I am. And when I came out of the experience, I took a picture of my aura field, and it revealed something that was, I didn't realize when I get out of it. I took a picture of it and enhanced it, and it's an ET form that the Mars rover took this picture, and NASA claims they didn't take it, but it was in a declassified file, I think part of the CIA that had it. And here's an ET on Mars that matches the ET that's in my aura distortion of this energy distortion within my aura field that I took a picture of. It's crazy. This guy, possibly an ET, I don't know his real name, is in India. And I know I have met other Indian practitioners that are really powerful. There's a lot of people around the world that are very powerful, not just me, that, I'm not saying they claim to be them, but they can have like telepathic communication with people. It's very powerful. It's like gamma ray energy. It's one of the highest. No, like the highest light source. So pyramid energy would be, pure light, I would say. There's the bioresonance that's from trees and stuff like that. So you want to go in nature, you can feel this subtle vibration that keeps your mind kind of calm, relaxed. If you sit next to and meditate next to a tree, you can actually harness magnetic energy. You sit there and for a period of time, you can actually cycle the intention of the energy and actually can heal your body. It can actually move your blood vessels, your red blood cells and white blood cells, and move around so you're not clogging everything up. So it can actually make your body very healthy. Just sitting on a tree, you can actually heal yourself from cancer. So yeah, it's pretty amazing experiences towards all the intentions and practices that I do, and all the methods and methodologies, and using different religions, but also using different practices of all sorts of things, and combining and putting them together. It's just a lifelong thing so far, and I love it. So
Wow. A lot of things were a little over my head, but like I could follow you and I understand what you're saying. So that's just so fascinating. Just like the scientific part and the understanding of like the different rays of light and whatnot. But wow. So now where are you at with like helping people? I know you touched on like you do certain like beyond or quantum healing and stuff like that. And you work with people teaching them how to do this meditation.
I'm got into quantum healing, quantum remote healing. I'm able to send energy right through the phone, right through the device, right through here. I mean, if you want me to. I mean, and it's pretty powerful. I think there's only a couple of people in probably the world that can do it. And as I researched this experience, this are quantum light particles traveling through space and time, paranormal particles. They have potential to heal cancer because they're plasma. It's plasma. It's like pure light. So you can physically feel it, right? And also anybody can physically feel it. Anybody. Like people are not just connected, like awakened, like anybody can feel it. I think that's the thing I like to present, is in a way that the telekinesis, anybody can see it. You can be skeptical all you want towards it. You're seeing the object move from a distance, and I'm not even touching it. And I can start it, and it's called 0 point when that happens, in a way that it's just sitting right there and it just moves. That's called 0 point. You didn't apply any like movement to it before you did it, and you should apply a movement to it to practice how it moves back and forth. Your mind needs to map it out in the perception, but then eventually it's very interesting how the subconscious and conscious mind works. The subconscious mind is collected by data perception. You don't think in the subconscious mind, and you only collect the data perception within what filters into the conscious mind. So whatever you watch on TV is like in a way of a commercial or TV or anything. We all watch TV, even me. You're absorbing data perception from your eyesight and also your hearing. But what you don't know is later you might go out and buy something that was on the commercial 2 weeks ago, and there it is. Or you might talk about it without the awareness of it. But that's how you program the subconscious mind. But in a way that people are programming everyone towards these intentions of manifestations. So they're manifesting this for you. Actually, they're manifesting this for themselves as they're sucking you into their manifestation from this intention. So to be truly psychic, you need to program the subconscious mind within the 5 senses. And then it will eventually filter in this conscious mind, but only through clarity or a couple other practices like instinct. If you do something instantaneous, like really quick. I found patterns that were really interesting how the mind works. I was able to take a deck of cards and go through them, and I was as I'm processing through like capturing the colors of the cards and the numbers and the suits and everything by observing it, and you mostly observe all the energy. As I'm throwing them down, I realized that like one would be like the 10 of clubs, and then you throw another one down, and that'd be like the 8 of spades. But like within your intuitive harnessing all this energy, if you work at it like anything else, you're going to get it. It's a manifesting world. We know that. It's a manifesting universe. We know that for a fact. But and the reason how we know that is, how I know that is by, I figured out what my mind knows, but it doesn't know, but the card will reveal what it knows. So I found out it was only, the next card was 1 or 2 off from the pre-existing drawing of like the 8. So I say it would be like a 6. I pull it out. I didn't know. It was all shovel. It was a 6. So it's like, if you put your work into it, you're going to be 1 or 2 off, or 3 off, depending on what you do. Eventually you'll get 1, 1, 1 all down. You'll get the whole thing, whole deck, you'll know without seeing it through it. Now, seeing it through is a whole nother practice, I found out. And I could teach that down the road, explain. That's all long type of practice, but you train your inner senses towards this one intention. So you can put a blindfold on and drive your car, or you can, walk around your house and do whatever you want. And this is where you train all your internal senses. This is where you see these, like, these women in India, and they can read like these little labels and stuff. Like, you maybe seen a video like that, or there's an Indian girl that can see like everything, and without her eyes. And this is where you train this inner intention. I know how to do this. This one practice I learned. So quantum healing is what I've been working on. And so quantum light particles traveling through space and time. The body has 55% of plasma. The universe has 99.9% of plasma. It makes up the entire universe. Now, plasma is not just hot, it's cold. It comes in like all these different forms, all these different, like, it can come into a magnetic structure. Our body's magnetic. Our bodies, I mean, once you build up the chi, your body's very magnetic, very powerful. So sending quantum light energy is just a buildup of a lot of chi stored into your systems, but you can also store them or harness them or like enhance them by these systems that I teach, by touching these systems. So, and then sending it, it's a little difficult. It's mostly what I do is I focus that this phone, I mostly just do it through my phone, is like a portal. And sometimes I might put sound music on over here. So my intention is in the peaceful music with a Bluetooth speaker, sending it to the intention of, the awareness of sound. So the particles will travel to the sound, but they go at the phone. But then I do send it into the phone as well, and kind of make it so it's like, but it's vibrating your body, just like, raising your frequency, raising your intention, but then really sending it out there. I think anybody can do it. And also it has the potential of healing you, because you're vibrating in this frequency that is the most, it's plasma. It's massive healing plasma. All these people that are like on my Facebook page, and I know these 3 other guys that were on my Instagram was doing quantum healing. They had horrible coronavirus. They're in hospital bed, and they had their family members aiming the phone at them as I'm healing them, and they're like just getting this effects. And it's very powerful, some of the videos I made. And the guy was walked out of the hospital 2 days later, and he was working and everything. It was like, and there's a couple of people that were suffering from major lung cancer, and also liver cancer, stage 4, completely healed. The doctors are just mind boggled. They're like, how is this possible? Like, they're just like completely dumbfounded, of what this energy can do. I mean, they don't know about the energy. They're just dumbfounded that they walked out of the hospital with showing that their medical charts show no cancer, no trace of cancer when they had stage 4 from quantum healing. So I believe this is possible. I believe I can heal anybody through anything like cancer, coronavirus, chronic pain. And I know that for a fact, knowing that I get so many people that are getting just relief from it, like from any physical or mental too, PTSD and anxiety, depression, and also sleep apnea. There are like, it's not saying sleep apnea, but like asomnia. People like I think it was like 40% of people can't sleep. Watch me, you'll be falling asleep real soon. It's pretty wild.
Wow. That's fascinating. Okay, so you help people with any kind of ailment, any kind, heal, and then touch again on you shared some of the things that you work with people on. What type of people would want to sign up to work with you? What are they looking for, and what do you help them? I know specifically, but like specifically, I'm asking kind of like what are the types of people that are your clients, or specifically what do you teach them to do exactly?
Well, I have mostly an online school that's the Patreon, and I have like mindfulness, awareness, and loving kindness meditations that really help open the heart, and open the mind more, and get them to be grounded and then in tuned, and also then build the intention of a lot of these practices. A lot of these people can perform these practices, these paranormal practices. They're so mind-boggling, that the telekinesis and psychokinesis, but they don't know how to teach it. So I built methods and structural systems of how to teach this very well. And also I made them so they're easy to learn. Some people, not everybody, are a little bit, impatient. But this requires patience, not too much. But a lot of the meditation is about helping and getting over your suffering, your physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, whatever you're facing in your life. You're going through a divorce, you're going through, lost loved ones, you're mourning, you're going through, heartache of a job loss or anything really, or you just want to build your psychic intuitive skill sets too. You want to learn some of these, amazing practices that I have touched on so much.
Yeah. So amazing. Wow. Do you also work one-on-one with people?
Yes, I do. I've been doing that a lot on Facebook for the past 2 years, on a lot of the one-on-one healing them through the quantum remote healing. So most people, I charge a certain amount, and then they send me their information and also a picture of themselves against a blank wall, so I can see their aura field, because I can read auras, and then I can also see right through them with that intention. So so I know what's going on within their body. Sometimes chi will be clogged in one area, that where people are having pain in their shoulder. So you could do the Reiki in a way of through the screen, like Zoom or like Facebook. And then most of the time, people just like the quantum healing in the way of me sending the energy so the whole body gets healed. So I mostly do a YouTube video, a private one I make, and then they can watch it a couple of times, to really be healed from the coronavirus or cancer or chronic pain. And it's remarkable. I'm having some great success with it.
Yeah. Have you thought about writing a book?
I've been working on a book.
Oh, yeah.
I'm working on a book on my practices and techniques and abilities and self-mastery and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And also a book on consciousness and the conscious intuitive mindset, and how to, I was writing a book on more like philosophy towards, I'm working on just compositing all together, I think.
Yeah.
So really interesting. I'm gonna make it about 24 chapters. It's gonna be a basic level, and then go really into it, strong into it with the whole energy abilities and masteries and techniques and tools and all that kind of stuff to get past whatever you're trying to get past, or just level up from the intention that you are awakened and you want to experience what this guy experienced. And trust me, I can teach it really well. I actually have a meetup group I made too last year. I got up to 100 people so far. I have a couple events in Chicagoland area that I'm hosting to teach, aerokinesis outside in a big forest area, and and teaching people all these different techniques, how to connect to nature, how to feel the vibrational energy, and how to create a storm right there.
Amazing. Yeah, so cool. Wow, I love that.
I do like I got into CD5 remote viewing, and so I was able to capture a lot of UFOs coming down the sky, and that was remarkable. I got a really amazing capture of UFOs. I had a great video on November 3rd where a plane came over and here's a UFO in the distance. And I'm like, it's not a plane. You have that comparison. If you can have that in a video, it's a no-brainer because it's like UFO. But as I looked at the research later, I found out there was another one blinking. It was a wild experience. So this is done through astral projection meditation, connecting to your self, but then I always add another version of yourself into the higher outer atmosphere, and then project into the cosmos, and then use a couple of different verses like mantras to make a connection. And so it's interesting.
You do make those connections?
Yeah, I have remarkable videos, and I also have I have 3 of them on my YouTube page. And then I've been doing a lot of disclosure work towards Mars and secret space program and other things that the government likes to cover up.
Yeah.
Getting legit stuff. So, and then mashing all together and, making a cool video. So.
Wow. And when you do astral projection, what is your intention usually when you do that?
The intention in a way of, it could be just freestyling in a way you're doing a deep meditation, and then not like the mind drifts, because there's no mind within this intention. It's just energy. So I teach a practice how you store the energy within doing the breathing, the chakras, then you kind of like expand the energy into the crown, and then you go into this out of body meditation experience. It's not like astral projection when you're sleeping in bed and you have no awareness. Okay. This is like meditating. So there's astral projection where people are sleeping and then they have these very strong vivid dreams, and they're so real that they can be they can have this perception, a sensory perception added to it. Sometimes they have no awareness of that, of everything they see, so they can't really pick out the specific details of stuff. So, but in the sense of target perception, in this idea of what I can do is I can take a picture of someone or something, I can store it in the subconscious mind, and then I go into this experience. Because what you're seeing is mostly data perception, and then you're using energy, and the energy interacts with the DMT within the mind, because you make your own DMT. I don't use drugs. I don't smoke marijuana, nothing like that. I try to encourage people not to do those things. And then you expand into this out-of-body meditation experience. And from that intention, you really need a whole clarity within the dream states. You might be in a street corner, you see the cars going by, you could be anywhere. But in like the target perception, after you have absorbed this data perception within the subconscious mind, you do that before the practice, you will go to that certain spot possibly, and you'll see where that little girl is who's been kidnapped, or like a dog that's missing, and you'll see the outlay. You maybe see the dog running around. Maybe you'll see like buildings, and mostly the first instinct, the first images are always correct, 100%. And mostly remote viewers teach that too. The instinct intention of the visual image is like always. So I teach people how to walk into this dimension in a way that you're maintaining clarity. You're not getting in a way like, wow, this is a beautiful place, this is amazing. You don't even want to throw emotions on it because it'll fog up, and then your reality will affect this reality, this dimension. You want to keep this dimension really clear to really see and experience this experience that you're trying to find something or someone. So it's always about harnessing that energy. So if you want to find somebody, I always say like you use a picture and then you really absorb it with all these senses. Mostly it's just touch, just touch, and like you can use a smell, but in a way that you touch, a little strange, but you touch the hair, you touch the face, you touch the nose, in a way that you know what these things feel like, almost just the basics of perception. And then you're absorbing this, but you're also absorbing the personality or other things that maybe somebody told you about the person or about the animal that's missing, or even like a diamond ring. So if you're missing a diamond ring in like a beach or the park, you think it's here,
Wow.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
It could be anything in lost history too, because I found stuff in lost history. A lot of my out of body experiences was lost history, and eventually I had out of body experiences in other planetary systems. And if you're on another planetary system and you're in this clarity intention, this astral projection dream state, try to look at the stars, see if you can pick your constellation, knowing where Earth is, and that's where you're this place. So if you can relate to that, you can know that you're using the star charts. Okay, I know where I am. And the best way to do that is because you're not going to see like another moon or a planet from Earth, but you might see a binary star system. So a binary star system or triple star system, in the way that you maybe see another sun while you're on this planet. So you might be able to pinpoint some location. So it's very interesting. I've been on to I've been on planets and I've been walking around. Most of these out-of-body experiences last for 20 minutes, half an hour. I think the longest one was 45 minutes. If you lose it, you go back into it, but you're weak and tired. I could probably find everybody on the FBI most wanted list if I wanted to. So.
I was going to ask you, and that would be amazing if you could, like, why don't the police resource you?
Yeah. I did look into it. I might need a business license and some security background, and I don't know. I mean, that's the reason why they go to college and have their 5-year degrees and blah blah blah, and they want to do their job. They don't want anybody to come in there. I believe I know that there are companies, but they're few and far between, and they mostly use technology these days instead of psychic remote viewers like they used to use in the 80s and 70s. So.
Wow. That's so fascinating. I don't know that much about psychic remote viewing. I've heard of it, but I don't know.
There's the control remote viewing that's done with ideograms and perception, not with visual perception and astral projection, meditation, nothing like that. They use perception and coordinates in a way that you write down the coordinates. You have you type an ideogram. An ideogram is a way to tap into the matrix, people say, or it's the dimensional perception that you're going to write down what these coordinates location are. So then you're drawing things. So you might draw your body language might respond to a wave, and the wave is like ocean or water. Another one would be these jagged lines, and they might be the mountains. So they have all these kind of little things like that to relate to what you experience. And yeah, the real psychic things, it might take you a long time to draw something and have a location for something. But I think I work on a couple practices like this, a lot of remote viewing. Everybody needs money. So I work on practices like pick 3 and pick 4 remote viewing. This is where you take colors and you take the numbers and you relate them into colors or another object, because numbers are really hard to pull through the matrix of perception. So just the numbers itself. So you use colors, or you use sounds or something on another perception to get the numbers to pop, and pop way you win. I won a couple times, nothing major, but the practice does work, and I put it on my Patreon for anybody to use, and it's actually not that difficult. It's really about visual perception, and we're very visual today, even right here. So it should be a no-brainer for a lot of people to learn this, and then you can win, like, it's for pick 4, pick 3 tickets, because it only generates up to 0 through 9, but 0 through 9 is not that difficult to harness through the psychic perception, and you could be winning 25, 50 grand every day,
Wow.
when you get good at it.
Wow.
And it's about yeah, it's very interesting. So go for it. You ask the questions, not me.
So we're going to wrap up soon. Is there anything else you want to touch on that you haven't touched on?
See, I'm actually a woodworking artist too, so I do a lot of woodworking too, and I have a huge wood shop, and I do all sorts of fine art woodworking, and I build jewelry boxes, birdhouses, all sorts of repurposed furniture. People throw away so much, so I just pick on the curb, and another man's trash, another man's treasure, turn into something very beautiful, work of art. So I'm very, very intuitive that way as well.
Beautiful. I love that. Amazing.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for sharing such your powerful gifts. I'm very just intrigued. So fascinating. It's been a pleasure to have you on, and I've got so many more questions, and I'm sure so many more will come. So as they come, I'll reach out to you.
You want me to do the quantum healing?
What's that?
You want me to send the energy through the device so everybody can feel it?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
That would be awesome.
I'm gonna put my earplugs down for a second.
Okay. Wow. I absolutely felt that. Wow, that's so powerful.
Thank you.
Amazing. Wow.
So I mostly do those sessions for about half an hour. So really get the heal of cancer from people. They need it, right? Coronavirus. We're facing a lot of suffering, so I'm just trying to do the best I can out there.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Like, I'm sure it's taken a lot of discipline and just listening to your intuition and calling to come that way to do this service, because I don't know, I've never heard most of the stuff that you're doing. Like, phenomenal, amazing. Wow. Thank you.
I believe there's a lot of emotional speakers towards the uplifting positive consciousness, but there's not too many energy practitioners. And I think the energy practitioners need to come out forward with their gifts and also their healing practices. And if they need some help, they need to really find the teachers they need to find to help them build that intuitive understanding so they can be powerful just like myself. And because it's, you had to have the compassion for this, but then you also have the compassion for others. You want to help others. Like I've done a lot of like volunteer work for Habitat for Humanity and Feed America and other food banks in Chicagoland area. But this is very powerful, and this might change the world, like this healing, this quantum healing. And I believe Jesus or any of the major spiritual practitioners back then had this power, this just not in the emotions but the physical as well. The physical is what's needed to really change the balance of the world in a way that make it really balanced, really structured, peace and love and harmony, tranquility, love and laughter, friendship, community. And it's amazing.
Yeah, it really is. Oh, thank you so much, Dan. Like, wow, so grateful. After this video, I'd love for you to pop in the comments and with your business page so other people can reach out to you. And if people do have questions, feel free to pop them in the comments and we can come back later. Yeah, amazing. So powerful, so powerful. Thank you so much for being on tonight. Have a blessed and beautiful night.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
See ya.